already read from John chapter 12, from verse 1 to 8. We see an act that Mary does, and she brings the most expensive perfume or oil worth of years and years of salary, but then she takes it and brings it at the feet of Jesus and pours it at his feet, and with her hair she anoints Jesus. And then what do we really learn from this particular passage? We see that John chapter 12 verse 1 to 8 teaches us to express our devotion to Jesus with extravagant love, giving him our whole selves without reservation, even when it seems costly or even unusual, demonstrating a deep appreciation of his sacrifice through actions that go beyond the ordinary, and to really prioritize our relationship with him. And we see that Mary does this because Mary goes and brings the best thing that she owns and chooses to offer it to Jesus. And this is the same thing that Jesus requires us to do in return, is to give him our whole selves, to bring him our best. Things that we feel like, these are costly, this is so precious to me. He tells us to bring our treasures to him, our treasures to Jesus, just as Mary does in this particular passage. And today I want us to really see what can we learn from this. Mary's act of anointing Jesus with this expensive perfume exemplifies the idea of giving Jesus our best without holding back, even when it requires significant sacrifice, Are you able to give Jesus your best? Are you able to sacrifice that thing that you feel you can't touch it, you can't give it to anybody, but can you bring it to Jesus Christ himself? Because we see Mary, and Mary does this in a way of gratitude too at the same time, because in the previous chapter we see that Jesus had just resurrected his brother, and we see also in the previous chapters that Jesus delivers Mary and heals her and forgives her of her sin. So Mary in return brings her very best to Jesus. What can you offer to Jesus for what he has done for you? Can you give him your best? We have to prioritize Jesus above everything else, because this story highlights the importance of putting our relationship with Jesus first and center, even above societal expectations or concerns about what others might think. In this passage, Mary is criticized for what she does by Judas, because Judas says you could have put that to better use. In fact, Judas saw this as a waste. Yet Jesus sees this as the most precious thing, because he says what Mary has done would be remembered till eternity. That everybody who will get to read the scriptures will remember what Mary did, the sacrifice that she did. So when we come to Jesus and walk according to his ways and his will, there's going to be people who will think of us differently, who will criticize us, who will think we are foolish or we are stupid. How could we do that? But Mary chooses to really offer her best even when criticism arises. Society might have its own expectations. Society will itself criticize you for you walking with God, for you doing the right thing. But you have to stay bold in your faith and just hold on to what Jesus is holding for you, or what Jesus has for you. And we always have to express our love to Jesus through our actions. Because true devotion isn't about just words, but also about tangible actions that demonstrate our love and commitment to Jesus. And Mary, right here in this passage, gives us such a perfect example that the action she did revealed her commitment, her affection, her devotion to Jesus, her heart for Jesus, that she gave her all. Are you able to do the same? Also, you have to understand the value or the worth of Jesus. Because when our love for Jesus is genuine, it may lead us to act in ways that seem unconventional, but also are ultimately motivated by our deep devotion. And also we see that Jesus is worth an impending sacrifice, which he would make later, is demonstrated here because Mary goes ahead and anoints Jesus. We know that in the Old Testament, during death, the body would be anointed with oil and precious spices. And so Mary does this because This reveals to us the death that Jesus is about to die later, which would lead to salvation of all humankind. The sacrifice that he paid on the cross, the crucifixion and the resurrection. All this is entailed into this verse because Mary does that and anoints Jesus's body. He prepares his body. And so her love is really seen in the action that she really does. And sometimes we as believers, we have to be okay to be different, because society is definitely going to see us differently. All society is going to see you differently because of your faith, because of what you believe, because of your devotion to Christ. But that is okay, because the one who is in you is greater than the one in this world. And so how can we then apply practical lessons that we see in this particular passage? Is that we really have to reflect on our priorities. We really have to examine where our time, our energy, and resources are being spent, and intentionally dedicate more to our relationship with Jesus Christ. Where you spend your time, your energy, your resources, all that stuff will reflect on where your heart is with Jesus. So you really have to prioritize your relationship with Jesus Christ. You have to practice the acts of worship. You have to find meaningful ways to express your love for Jesus, whether that is through prayer, praise, serving others, or studying your scriptures. And you gotta be bold in your faith, because sometimes it can be intimidating, especially if you are in a community where maybe their Christianity is not welcomed. But don't be afraid to openly share your faith with others and live out your convictions, even when it might be challenging. You gotta be bold and stand firm in your faith, without being afraid. And then you gotta seek a deeper understanding and continuously studying the Bible to gain a deeper understanding of Jesus, building your relationship, your intimacy with him, and teachings which can inspire your devotion, but above all, your commitment and devotion and affection to him. So I pray that this passage reveals something to you where your relationship with Jesus is deepened, and you yourself are being transformed and changed, whereby you're giving your best to Jesus, that you sacrifice whatever you have to sacrifice for him, because our love for him is through actions, it's through how we live our lives, how we treat others, how we show up, how we serve. Remembering that Jesus remembering that Jesus himself was our best gift ever, the best gift that God himself gave to us. And so we do the same in turn, even though we can never even do much to really please him. But how we live our lives, what we offer him, what we bring to him, our devotion, our time, our energy, how we love others, that is the best sacrifice that we can give back to him. But more so, our heart. Let your heart be after him. Let your heart be after what he desires. And I pray that he may fulfill every desire that is in your heart. That as you grow deeper in knowing him and seeking him and serving him and offering sacrifices, that he may draw near to you as well. I pray that you be blessed by this passage. Remember that you are loved, you are cherished by the Most High God, and that's why he came and died on the cross, because he cared about you, and your worth is in him. Be blessed. May God be with you, go before you, ahead of you. Blessings. Till next time.